speak at the meetings. However, I needed to watch who I addressed and what I spoke about. The situation.
The truth, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they fear. They fear the truth. They fear accountability, as they should. They fear the sovereignty of the American people when we stand together, when we have each other's backs, when we don't...
The first speaker is Nick C. Would you please state your name and address?
My name's Nick, and I'm a resident of North Huntingdon Township. Good evening. What you're about to hear represents only 2 examples of the evidence we've documented showing systemic misconduct and abuse of power within North Huntingdon Township. These are not isolated incidents. They reveal a consistent pattern of negligence, suppression, and retaliation against citizens who dare to speak the truth.
Hi, this is Officer Cookies from North Huntingdon Township Police Department. I'm sitting out in front of your residence right now as we speak. Trying to conduct a follow-up in reference to your crash. The case has been turned over to me due to the significance of your injuries. So you can reach me at North Huntingdon Township Police Department at 724-863-8800. I'd like to sit down with you and get your side of what happened, and we'll go from there. Okay? Thank you very much for your time.
Now, that's the police officer that I was told by the chief, by McCurdy, by Arendez, that he's not a crash investigator, he holds no certificates to be a crash investigator, and that he had nothing to do with my family's accident at any point in time. He then came to my house, and that's when he told me of all the criminal shit that this department did involving my family's accident, and then you guys got rid of him. So then what happens, his wife decides as an American citizen she'd like to exercise her First Amendment right to speak, and this is what happened to her.
On Monday, April 14th, at 6:46 p.m., my husband received a phone call, which I'm sure was at the direction of Chief Rizzo, from Officer Carl Steinkoff. The 3-minute one-sided conversation was to tell me I had every right to speak at the meetings. However, I needed to watch who I addressed and what I spoke about, with specific instructions that I was not to say anything regarding Mr. Carrozza's situation. Let me remind you, and unfortunately, Chief Rizzo, I am a tax-paying citizen of this community.
Amen.
And I will speak when,
amen,
and about whatever I want.
Fucking
I
men.
am my own person. I think for myself, and I speak for me and only me. Now, I had no intentions on saying anything about Mr. Carrozza's situation. But after receiving my warning call, I can't help but ask, what exactly are you afraid I could potentially say about Mr. Carrozza's situation?
The truth, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they fear. They fear the truth. They fear accountability, as they should. They fear the sovereignty of the American people when we stand together, when we have each other's backs, when we don't sell our souls for the paycheck and the pension. So, for nearly a year, I've stood before this body and asked for answers, not for myself alone, but for every resident whose voice has been silenced. Yet to this day, not one of you has publicly addressed the concerns placed on the record by your own constituents. I again ask tonight, when will Officer Carl Steinkoff be called to answer for the phone call he made, who instructed him to make it, and why he felt it appropriate to tell an American citizen that they are not allowed to speak about certain topics from the public town square? The truth is simple. You don't want the community to know. You don't want them to see the extent of the corruption, how certain officials have weaponized law enforcement against private citizens, how complaints are buried, and how accountability has been replaced by silence. And to every officer within the North Huntingdon Police Department, every last one of you, I have emailed each of you personally, making you aware of the facts. Not one of you has stepped forward to tell the truth. I know you saw what happened to Ted, but hear me clearly. If any of you find the courage to come forward and you face retaliation for doing what's right, you will find refuge in us, the American people. The American people will protect you. Silence in the face of injustice is guilt, but truth spoken in courage will never stand alone. My unlawful arrest, the intimidation, the threats, the malicious prosecutions brought against me by the North Huntingdon Police Department, the Pennsylvania State Police Department, the Attorney General's office, and the local district attorney's office will be challenged in court publicly, transparently, and on the record. Every fact, every action, every document will be exposed under oath. But while you were busy shielding yourselves from accountability, something remarkable has happened, and the people are paying attention. Our movement, now 5,000 followers strong, I like to call them participants, has reached over 400,000 views alone today. We've captured not only the attention of the township, but we've captured the attention of Westmoreland County, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and now there are people across the nation joining in to comment, share, and give their support as North Huntingdon works through this. This is going to be the biggest shit stain on the history of this community, the legacy of this community. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. So, what began as a spark has become a flame, and the flame is now spreading. You still have an opportunity to do the right thing, to step forward and tell the truth, and to begin restoring public trust. But understand this clearly. The window for redemption is closing fast. Mr. Zona, I have about 5 lines left. May I finish? Thank you. To those who told me I was carrying a big hammer, you were right. But I never picked it up to destroy. I picked it up to rebuild. And I still extend my hand to anyone in this township governing body who has the courage to swing it with me for truth, for justice, and for the people you swore to serve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.